was limited, Stanley Abili did not practice, and Robert Woods was limited. Obviously the largest list we've had of the year, coming off of our most physical game of the year. We see that in our injury report, so hopefully we'll get a lot of those guys back. So it gave some opportunity to some other guys today, and we'll hopefully get those guys back throughout the week to help ourselves.
You mentioned coming off the most physical game. Do you expect another physical game based on their style?
Yeah, I think now you go up another level even. Now you go from, that was a physical game from the fact that we had a lot of rushing attempts and that it was physical defensively running around a lot because they were spreading us out, to now you go to a truly physical test of will game here. I can't imagine there would be a team in the country that you'd have to go line up against that would come across on film more physical than what these guys do in all areas. On Tuesday I give a report to the team of the upcoming opponent, and I break it down into 3 phases, and I really found myself repeating myself in all 3 phases. Physical, discipline, play hard, hardly make any mistakes. Basically, I was saying the same thing for special teams, defense, and offense. He's done a phenomenal job up there of getting across what he wants in all areas. And a lot of times, especially this year, I'm sure he would say, I would think he would say last year he didn't get it across on defense as you look at, their film from last year. But then you look at this year, and now he's getting it across in all 3 phases.
The linebackers haven't made a lot of big plays, interceptions, forced fumbles, etc. What do you think accounts for that, and how do you feel about their production collectively?
Yeah, you hit on it. I don't know when I said the same thing today on the radio or somewhere. We've not gotten significant plays from that group. It hasn't been where you watch the film and say, wow, they're blowing a bunch of assignments or missing a ton of tackles. They're playing okay, but there's been no significant plays. The big sack, the big fumble, the big interception, the big play on a ball that's going to be a first down, they knock it out. So for whatever reasons, that's just the way it's been. And really, that's kind of been outside of the sacks with mostly the defensive line. That's really kind of been our common issue on defense for most of the year, outside of the Washington State turnovers. And we have not had a lot of significant plays, especially in tough times. We've probably been I got to imagine we're the worst no-huddle defense in all of football right now. We've given up, I think we've given up 34, 37 points in no-huddle, and something like 477 yards in no-huddle situations through 5 games. That's usually a full 16-game NFL season. So, those are significant points that people are getting real fast on us that are in times when you need those type of plays we're discussing.
Stanford's a team that will push the tempo. At times they won't go full no huddle, but they'll try and jump on teams. How can you fix that in practice this week?
Yeah, they've done a great job really jumping on people early, and then you can also see the tempo. It's not like Oregon, but they do have a tempo out of the huddle that's very fast when they break the huddle, and they come at you full speed. And so we're practicing at that tempo, trying to practice at that tempo, and even when we went against each other today, practice at a quicker tempo in between plays because of that. So hopefully that'll help.
Is Alan Bradford going to start at tailback?
I don't know. We'll look at it throughout the week and see. And he, there at the end, he had the ball and something happened, so we're going to have to evaluate that too. Even though he finished practice and did everything, so it'll just be a constant evaluation between those guys. Who can do what.
That kind of performance and averaging 100 yards a game, that doesn't speak enough to make that for you to make that decision?
Well, I'm not going to make a decision right now. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be if I was going to make it right now based off of last game. If that was the case, yeah. But we'll go through it a week and see how they practice all week, and especially with both of them, being a little bit sore and some issues, make sure that they're fully healthy too.
Do you lean one way or the other with the field goal kicker, or will it be a week long?
It'll be a week long. We'll have to look at it. We did some opportunities there with them today, more than normal, and basically all we got out of that is what we're going for a lot in the red zone. So hopefully it'll improve tomorrow.
Matt's gotten a lot of criticism for those last 2 passes that he missed in the game. Do you think the expectations on him are a little bit unrealistic, considering how young he still is?
Well, I don't know whose expectations you're referring to. I know this. I have extremely high expectations for him, and I think the same thing. He should have made those 2 plays. And, regardless of that, he's a true sophomore. Regardless of, that, they were close and they hit the guy's fingers. We expect him to make those plays. And I think if he makes those 2 plays, which really are about 6 inches away from making, it's not like he completely missed them. They both hit fingertips of the guys. If he's just a little bit softer with his touch there, I think we're sitting here today and the conversation, boy, didn't Matt basically play perfect? That puts him, those 2 passes put him 16 for 20 with the touchdown because Davies is in the end zone, 200 yards passing, and you're saying, wow, he completed 80% of his passes and didn't turn the ball over. So, but that's the difference between playing well and playing great. And hopefully next time, he'll make those plays and we'll win the game.
What about, how do you feel about your secondary right now? You guys are 116th in the nation.
160th? 120 team.
116th. But you're near the bottom, and I know it's not just corners and safeties, but that group, how are they playing?
Yeah, obviously those numbers speak for themselves. We're not playing very well. And the missed tackles, too, have been an issue that show up in the passing and in the rushing stats. And so we've really emphasized it this week. I was obviously hoping we'd play a lot better. I would say maybe that maybe early on I didn't account for how inexperienced they really were. You got a true freshman at corner. Obviously never played college football before. You got 2 true sophomores at safeties making their first significant playing time. And Sharice Wright, we think's a veteran, had 3 starts coming into the season. So, and then we go to Brian Bacham in there, who hadn't really played much, as our nickel. So all those guys are on the field at the same time. So maybe my expectations were a little high for them. But still, with that, we obviously got to play a lot better.
Jake said he hadn't kicked 3 months. Does that kind of hurt your ability to be able to go to him this week?
No, because just because you're not kicking the field, what I mean, you're not kicking off and kicking long distances, and so we'll see how they do this week, and then whoever does better will play them.
Guys good?